10th problem. A fighter plane flying horizontally at an altitude of 1.5 km speed of 720 kmph passes directly overhead of an aircraft gun. So this is a gun, and at a height of 1.5 kilometers, one aeroplane is flying horizontally with a speed of 720 kmph. So let me convert into meter. So this will be 18 force. So this is 200 meter per second. So one airplane is going like this. Now, at what angle from the vertical? The gun be fired for the shell with a muzzle speed of 600 meters. What is the speed of this bullet here? Shell that is coming from the gun is 600 meters to hit the aeroplane. See this, students, if the shell is fired like this, we know that it will move in a parabolic path. If the aeroplane comes at this place, then the shell from the gun will hit the aeroplane. So they are asking at what angle this shell should be fired from the gun. So to find out this angle, it is clear that the horizontal distance traveled by the aeroplane must be equal to the horizontal distance traveled by the shell in the same time interval. That is, here for aeroplane, as it is moving with constant velocity, the horizontal distance traveled is equal to x is equal to ut only, because it is flying horizontally with constant speed. So the speed is neither increasing nor decreasing. So this x is equal to, this is 200 into t. So let me take it as equation 1. Now for this shell, we know that as it is going, its horizontal velocity never changes. This is Vx or Ux, or maybe. So this horizontal velocity never changes. It remains constant throughout the journey. But what about the vertical velocity here? Remember, if this is taken as u, this will be generally theta will be given here, then this will be u cos theta, this is u sin theta. But in this particular problem, theta is the angle made by the velocity with vertical, not with the horizontal. In theory class, I explained by taking theta here. So if it is u, this is u cos theta, u sin theta. Now, if theta is given here, this u sin theta will become u cos theta here, and the horizontal component will become u sin theta. So what is the horizontal velocity here? U sin theta. Here this is u sin theta. This is also u sin theta. Horizontal velocity generally u cos theta if the angle is with the horizontal, but if angle is with vertical, this will become u sin theta, which remains constant. But what about this vertical velocity? This is u cos theta. Here u cos theta minus gt. So keep on decreasing. This vertical velocity continuously decreases. So now here I need a horizontal distance traveled by the shell, that is x. So x for shell coming from the gun, x is equal to ux into t. What is ux here? Remember, don't take this value, horizontal displacement, u sin theta into t. So x value will be equal to, what is u? U is given as 600 meter per second and sin theta into t. So this is equation 2. You can say equation 1 is giving x value, equation 2 is giving x value. So let me take equation 1 and 2. So from 1 and 2, what we can write? From 1 and 2, 200t must be equal to 600 sin theta t. So that is 200t is equal 600 sin theta into t. This t get cancelled. Sin theta is equal to 200 by 600. This is 1 by 3. So theta is equal to sin inverse of 1 by 3. So what is the angle with which the shell has to be fired so that the shell hits the aeroplane after traveling some distance? This answer is sin inverse 1 by 3. In 10th problem, you see the second part. At what minimum altitude should the pilot fly the plane to avoid being hit? So here, when the shell is fired from the gun, let us it is moving in a parabolic path. So it will reach maximum height and then it will move in the parabolic path and hit the ground and somewhere. But if this aeroplane moves somewhere here, which is above the maximum height, so let us say it is moving in this direction. So if it is above the maximum height, H max, then this shell will not hit the aeroplane. So to find this value, what should be the height of the flying? So to find out this one, indirectly they are asking us to find out the maximum height reached by the shell in its trajectory. So instead of that, they are asking at what minimum altitude should the pilot fly the plane to avoid being hit by the shell. So I am going to find out the maximum height in this problem. So height of the flying of aeroplane should be greater than this maximum height, which is given by V naught square sine square theta by 2g. This is the expression. But remember students, in this problem, the vertical velocity in the derivation was V naught sine theta. But in present problem, this value is V naught cos theta. So I have to change this as V naught cos theta. In all other problems, this is V naught sin theta only. But in this problem, as theta is given with vertical, it should be V naught cos square theta into 2g. So what is V naught? That is 600 whole square. This is cos square theta by 2. G is 10. In the previous part of this problem, we got sin theta as 1 by 3. So let me take the triangle. If it is theta, this will be 1, this will be 3. Root of, this is 3 square means 9, this is 1. This will be root 8 or 2 root 2. So what is cos theta from this problem? This will be 2 root 2 by 3. So this will be 600 square. Cos theta will be 2 root 2 by 3 whole square by 20. So 6 6 are 36 into 10 power 4. This is 2 root 2 whole square, that is 8 by 9. This is 20. So let me take this 20. So now 4 5s, 4 9s, this 9 and 9 get cancelled. This is 8 by 5 into 10 power 4. 8 by 5, 1.6. 1.6 into 10 power 4 or 16 into 10 power 3 meters or 16 kilometers. So the maximum height reached by this shell in this trajectory is 16 kilometers. So at what is the minimum height or altitude should the pilot fly the plane to avoid being hit? Means the height of this one should be more than 16 kilometers or minimum it should be 16 kilometers. This is the answer for the second part of this problem. A cyclist starts from the center O of a circular park of radius 1 kilometer. This radius is 1 kilometer. Reaches the edge P of the park, then cycles along the circumference. So he reached this point P, cycles along the circumference of the park and returns to the center along QO as shown. That means he started from P, reached this Q, and then he reached point O here like this. So this is the direction of motion here. Now, if the round trip takes 10 minutes, so for him to travel from P to O via Q, he took 10 minutes. So what is the net displacement? We know that from this lesson, the net displacement is the difference between the two positions, that is final position minus initial position. So it is not depends upon the actual length of the path traveled, only this initial point and final point. So what is the initial point distance? Let us say if you take this as y-axis, this is x-axis. The initial point is 1 kilometer from this point, final point is 0. So the difference between these two, that is a net displacement. Net displacement in this problem is given by, this is a PO, because from starting to ending, so PO bar, which is exactly equal to 1 kilometer. That is nothing but the radius of the circular park. The average velocity, so average velocity is given by, velocity is displacement by time. This is total or net displacement by time taken. Net displacement by time taken. So V average, so generally we denote this V average like this, which is equal to net displacement 1 kilometer, time taken 10 minutes. So we have to convert this into meter per second. So kilometer means 1000 meters. 10 minutes means 1 minute is 60. 10 into 60, 600 seconds. So 0 0 get cancelled. So this will be 10 by 6. So 2 3, so 2 5. So this will be 5 by 3 meter per second. This is the average velocity. What is the average speed of the cyclist? So to find out the average speed, we denote this as VAV. Remember students, if you keep a bar here, that will be vector velocity. If you don't keep anything here, this must be scalar. So what is this average speed? This is total displacement by time taken. So what is the total displacement in this case? By time taken. Time taken already given as 10 minutes. But what is the total distance traveled? See, he started from P, traveled 1/4 of the circumference of the circular path from P to Q, and then from Q to O. So here, total displacement, let me keep it as PQ plus QO by T. What is PQ? 1/4 of the circumference of the circular path. That is 1/4 2 pi r. 2 pi r is the total circumference. 1/4 of the circumference is PQ. QO is 1 kilometer by, this is 10 minutes. So let me take 10 into 60. So now this 2 and 2 get cancelled. This is pi r by 2 plus 1 by, these are all in kilometers, by 600 seconds. So the average speed is given by pi value 22 by 7, r value 1 kilometer. So this will be 22 by 7 by 2, that is 22 by 14 plus 1 by 600 into 10 power 3, because kilometer has to be converted to meter. So this is 2 sevens, 2 11s. So 7 plus 1 11, this is 18 by 7 into 10 power 3 by 600 by 1 will become 1 by 600. So now 6 ones, 0 0, 6 threes, this will be 3000 by 700. So this will be 30 by 70 meter per second. 7 4s, 28, 20, 7 2s, 14, 60, 7 8s. So answer 4.28 meter per second. So the average speed was 5 by 3, which is equal to 1.66 meter per second, and the average speed will be 4.28 meter per second. 12th one, on an open ground, a motorist follows a track that turns to his left by an angle 60 degrees after every 500 meters. Starting from a given turn, specify the displacement of the motorist at the 3rd, 6th, 8th turn. Compare the magnitude of the displacement with the total path of the length covered by the motorist in each case. So here in an open ground, so a motorist is starting like this. He traveled 500 meters. After traveling 500 meters, he is turning to his left by 60 degrees. This is 90, this is 60. So this is 60 degrees, and traveled another 500 meters. And then after traveling 500 meters, he is turning towards his left. Instead of going like this, left. This is 500, and then he traveled like this for another 500, and then he traveled like this for another 500 meters, and then he traveled like this. So starting from a given turn, so let me take one of the turn here. So let me give the name here. The name of this one, let me take this as A, B, C, D, E, F. Once again he will reach A, B, he will control like this. So this is the direction of motion of this motorist in an open ground. So what we need? So from a given turn, specify the displacement of the motorist at the 3rd turn, after the 6th turn, after the 8th turn. So this is the given turn. Let me take this as the initial point. So this is the first turn, 2nd turn, 3rd turn. So starting from this turn, this will become the first turn. So after traveling 500 meters, instead of traveling like this, he turned by 60 degrees. And once again, this will be the 2nd turn. So instead of traveling like this, he turned by 60 degrees. And like this, at each and every turn, he is turning by 60 degrees. Now, What is the third turn? This is the first turn, second turn, this will be the third turn. I need to find out the displacement after the third, sixth and eighth turn. So third turn means, let me take this A be the starting point of his journey. So B will first turn, C second turn, D third turn. So what is the displacement? Just join A with D. So after 3 turns, displacement will be AD. But in this problem we know that this is 500, this is 500, this is 500. How to find AD here? To find out AD, first let me find out AC. So AD will be the sum of AC and CD. So first, what is AC? AC is given by sum of these two vectors. So which is given by, you see, this BC parallel to this. So this is also 500 to this point O. So this angle will be 60 degrees. So by applying parallelogram law of vector relation or law of cosines, we can write AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square plus 2 into AB into BC into cos 60. This is the formula. Now let me substitute the values. So AC will be, AB will be 500 square, BC also 500 square, 2 into 500 into 500 into cos 61 by 2, 500 square, 500 square, 500 square. So 3 into 500 square or 500 into root 3. This is AC. So I got this AC value now. Now I need AD, which is the sum of AC and CD. But what about the angle between these two? If it is 60, this is 60, this angle will be 30 degrees. So if it is 30, this must be, this is 120 and this is also 30 and this angle, as this is 60, the total angle is 60, 30. So this angle must be 90 degrees because sum of the total angles on a straight line must be equal to 180. So this is 90. Angle between AC and CD is 90. So now what is AD, that is displacement after third turn, AD. So AD is given by root over AC square plus CD square plus 2 into AC into CD into cos 90. Cos 90 is 0. So this term will become 0. This is AC. We got to 500 root 3. CD is equal to 500. So this will be root over 500 root 3 whole square plus 500 square. So this is obviously this is 500 square, root 3 whole square means 3, 3 plus 1, 4. So this is 4 into 500 square under root. So which can be written as 500 into 2. So this is 1000 meters or 1 kilometer. So what is the displacement after third turn? After third turn, displacement is 1000 meters. 1000 meters or 1 kilometer. Now they are asking us to compare the magnitude of displacement and total length of the path. So in this first case, this is case 1. Case 1, displacement by total length of the path traveled. Displacement that I can take it as AD bar by AD. AD bar just now I got it as 1000 meters. And what is AD? Displacement, this is distance. AD is the sum of AB plus BC plus CD. That is 500 plus 500 plus 500. So this is 1500 meters. This get cancelled. This is 2:3. The part, displacement after sixth turn. Remember students, it is the first turn, second, third, fourth turn, fifth turn. Sixth turn is the starting point. So that means the motorist is reaching the same point after 6 turns. So after 6th turn, what is the displacement? Displacement will be 0. So which is, we call it as a null vector. So this is a null vector whose magnitude is 0. Now what is the distance travelled in this case? distance is 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. That is AB plus BC plus CD plus DE plus EF plus FA. So this is 500 means 6 into 500. So this is 3000 meters. What is the ratio here? So after sixth turn, this will be 0 meters or 0 kilometers, but ratio will be 0 by something is 0 only. So in the second case, x bar by x will be 0 by 3000, which is equal to 0. Now 8th turn, so that is case 3. Now let me take case 3. 8th turn is nothing, this is 6th, this will be the 7th turn, and this will be the 8th turn. So after 8 turns, the person will reach point C. So now after 8th turn is point C. So what is the total displacement here? The total displacement in this case will be, this is the starting point. After complete one revolution and is coming back to this point. This is only the shortest distance between ending point and starting point. That is nothing but AC. Already we found this AC previously, which we have given as the displacement is in this case is AC bar. So this is 500, 500. Or if you take this one here, the total net displacement will be AC, which is given by root over 500 square plus 500 square plus 2 into 500 into 500 into 1 by 2 cos 60. So already we found this in the first case. So this will be 500 square plus 500 square plus 500 square. So 500 into root 3 meter. This is AC bar. Now what is distance traveled for 8th turn? For one complete this one, this will be 3000. This is 3500 plus 5500, 4000 meters. So now we need to compare these two. X bar for 8th turn by x plus 8th turn is given by 500 root 3 by 4000. Cancel these two. 5 1 so 5 8 so. This answer is root 3 by 8. This is the ratio in the for the 8th turn. A passenger arriving in a new town wishes to go from the station, whether it is bus station or railway station, to a hotel located 10 km away from a straight road from the station. So let us say this is the station, and on a straight road they have a hotel here. So this is the hotel. The total distance is 10 kilometers. A dishonest cabman takes him along a circuitous path 23 kilometers long and reaches the hotel in 28 minutes. So he is moving along, taking along a circuitous path like this. So in a circuitous path, so he traveled 23 kilometers and he took 28 minutes. Now, what is the average speed of the taxi? The magnitude of the average velocity. Are the two equal? So first let me take average speed. So average speed in this case is total distance traveled by total time taken. Total distance traveled by this person is 23 kilometers. Total time taken is 28 minutes. So we can write this as 23 kilometers by 28 into 16. So this is in minutes. So I want to convert this into hours. So this will be 28 by 60 hours. So we can write 23 into 60 by 28 kilometer per hour. So now what is the value of this one? This is 23 into 60, which is 1380 by 28. So this will be 49.2 kmph. So here I found this value, average speed in kilometer per hour. So let me find the magnitude of average velocity also in kilometer. Then I will compare these two whether they are equal or not. So now this is a VAV. Remember students, we are not going to write arrow here. Only for vectors we have to keep arrow. So now average velocity is given by V average, now we have to keep arrow. This is a net displacement of this body by time taken by it. So what is the net displacement in this case? Here he traveled only 10 kilometers, even though he is traveling in a circular path. So we have to take only this one, 10 kilometers. But what is the time taken? Here he is not traveling along the straight line, he is traveling in a circular path. But here we need to take 28 minutes only. So 28 by 60 hours. So this 10 into 60 by 28. This is 600 by 28. So let me check this value. 600 by 28. This will be 21.4 kmph. You check these values. The speed is 49.2, whereas the velocity 21.4. So these two are not equal, and final conclusion should be the average speed and the average velocity are not equal. That you have to write here. Average speed and average velocity are not equal. 14. Rain is falling vertically with a speed of 30 meter per second. So rain is falling with a velocity V rain is equal to 30 meter per second. A woman rides a bicycle with a speed of 10 in north to south direction. What is the direction in which she should hold her umbrella? Here it is vertically falling down. Rain is falling down. Already we discussed this problem in a theory class. So this is the velocity of rain. So let me take it as VR. And woman is moving. Let us say this is north, this is south. Woman is going from north, moving from north to south. So this is the velocity of the woman. So in which direction she has to hold umbrella? She has to hold umbrella in a direction of relative velocity of rain with respect to woman. That is VR minus VW. Now here we need to find only the direction but not the magnitude of this rain. So now if you consider this one, this is the velocity of rain with respect to women. Even if you take this one minus VW here, minus VW, because this is minus VW velocity of women, and this is the angle at which you have to hold umbrella, both are same. So this theta we need to find out. So what is tan theta? That is opposite side VW by rain VR. Women velocity is 30, women velocity 10 and rain was 13. So this will be 1 by 3. So theta will be tan inverse of 1 by 3. That means this theta should be equal to tan inverse 1 by 3. 10. A man can swim with a speed of 4 kmph in still water. How long does it take to cross the river of 1 kilometer wide if the river flows steadily 3 kmph and he makes strokes normal to the river current? So this is a river and this is the river current, nothing but river water flowing in this direction. Now, a man can swim with a speed of 4 kmph in still water. Velocity of man in still water is 4 kmph. That means if the velocity of water is 0, if water is still, then he can swim with this speed. Now, how long does it take to cross a river 1 kilometer wide? The width of this river is 1 kilometer here, which is flowing steadily at 3. That means velocity of river in this case is 3 kmph. So this vector is velocity of river 3, and he makes his strokes normal to the river current. That means this river current is in this direction, he is making strokes in this direction. That means he is trying to move in this direction. How far down the river does he go when he reaches the other bank? We know that when he is swimming in this direction, as the river current or water is striking him, and at every point his direction will change and finally he will reach somewhere here. So actual speed of the man is Vm, this one, and resultant velocity will be in this direction V capital R. This is the resultant. So now how to find this resultant value? In this problem they are just asking this. Let us say he is starting from A and trying to move towards the point B, the other bank, but he will reach point C. So what is this BC they are asking if it is 1 kilometer? So in distance wise, first of all, let me find out the angle at which he is going to swim. Actually, he is swimming normal to this one only, but his direction will change by an angle alpha. So how to find this alpha? So tan alpha is equal to BC by AB, that is opposite side by adjacent side. So tan alpha is equal, what is BC here? BC, the velocity of the river by the velocity of the man, which is given by 3 by 4. So alpha is equal to tan inverse 3 by 4. Now I want to find out BC value in terms of the distances. So if you take the same value, tan alpha as 3 by 4, this is in terms of velocities. Now in terms of distances, this is BC by AB. Now what is BC value that you are going to find now? By AB value is 1 kilometer, that is the width of the river. So BC will be 3 by 4 kilometer or 0.75 kilometer. That means he will reach point C at a distance of 0.75 kilometers from point C, B. A stone is tied to end of a string of 80 centimeters long. So this is 80 centimeters long string and the stone is tied to this one. It is whirled in a circular path like this. This is 80 centimeters. Now, if the stone makes 14 revolutions in 25 seconds, so it is making 14 revolutions in 25 seconds. We know that frequency is number of revolutions made by a body in 1 second. So in 1 second, how many revolutions will be completed by this one? You divide this with 25 and 25 on both sides. 25 is 1. This will be 14 by 25 revolutions. So this is called the frequency of revolution, F. So now to find out the magnitude and direction of acceleration, we have this formula. Centripetal acceleration is given by V square by R. Either we need to find out velocity under this one, or if frequency is given, we can write as R omega whole square by R, that is R square omega square by R. So centripetal acceleration is R omega square. So this is the expression. So to find out the centripetal acceleration, we need R, which is given as 80 centimeters. So 0.8 meters R. Now what is omega? Omega is equal to 2 pi F. Now this is 2, pi value 22 by 7, F is equal to 14 by 25, 7 ones and 7 2s. So this 22 into 4, this is 88 by 25. Radians per second is the angular speed. Now you can substitute here. AC is equal to, R is equal to 0.8. This is 88 by 25 whole square. So now let me check this value. Calculate this one. This is 88 divided by 25 is 3.52 into 3.52, which is 12.39. So this will be 0.8 into 12.39 into 0.8, which is given by 9.9 meter per second square. This is centripetal acceleration. So what is the direction of this one? The direction of this one is given by, we know that as it is centripetal acceleration, it always acts towards the center. So after finding the magnitude, write down this as towards center of circular path. An aircraft executes a horizontal loop of radius 1 kilometer. So it is moving in a circular path of radius 1 kilometer radius with a steady speed of 900 kilometer per hour. So this is moving in a circular path and the speed is 900 kmph. Compare its centripetal acceleration with the acceleration due to gravity, that is AC by acceleration gravity is G. First let me find out AC, because G value we know this is 9.8. So how to find AC? AC is equal to V square by R. V is given, R is given. So but this is in kilometer, this is in kilometer per hour. So now what I am going to write, So this velocity, which is given as 900 kmph, 900 into 5 by 18. So 18 ones, so 18 fives, so 50, 250. So this is 250 meter per second. So this will be 250 whole square by r is equal to 1000. 250 into 250 by 1000. This is 4 times. So 4 5 4 6 24 10 4 2s. This will be 62.5 meter per second square. Now let me find the ratio here. This is 62.5 by g is not given, but we have to take it as a 9.8. So the ratio between 62.5 divided by 9.8 is given by 6.37. So they are comparing. This means AC is 6.37 times more than this g value. 18. A cyclist is riding with a speed of 27 kmph. So he is riding at a speed of 27 kmph. As he approaches a circular turn on the road of radius 80 meter, so he is moving in a straight road first. So this is a circular turn. What is the radius of this one? Radius is 80 meters. He applies brakes and reduces speed at constant rate of 0.50 meter per second for every second. That is, speed is reducing this much for each second. That is, change in speed per second is nothing but this is acceleration. Is it positive or negative? As the speed is reducing here, this is a negative acceleration. So that means when he applied brakes here, his direction of motion is this one. And as the speed is reducing, the acceleration will act in the opposite direction. This we call it as a tangential acceleration, because for this circular path, this is a tangential. So the tangential acceleration is opposite to the speed. So which is given by minus 0.5 meter per second, that is meter per second square. This is a tangential. So we denote this as AT is equal minus 0.5 meter per second square. This is tangential acceleration. Now here, as he is moving in a circular path, and we have this acceleration which is acting towards the center, which is given by AC. So AC is equal to, that is centripetal acceleration is given by V square by R. So what is V? That is 27 kmph at this point. After that it is reducing, but at this point the speed is exactly 27 kmph. So let me take it as 27 into 5 by 18, 9 2s are 18, 9 3s are 27. So 15 by 2, 7.5 meter per second. So the velocity is 7.5 whole square by radius 80 meters. So this is 80. So centripetal acceleration is given by 7.5 into 7.5 by 80. 7.5 into 7.5, which is equal to 56.25. 56.25 by 80, which is 0.70 meter per second square. So I got two accelerations. One is acting towards the center O, one is acting opposite to the initial velocity, that is when it is moving along a straight line. Why it is opposite? I am telling once again, as the speed is reducing, this is a negative acceleration which is opposite to the direction of the velocity. That we call it as, actually this is retardation. In this case, the tangential acceleration is retardation. Now the angle between these two is 90. So the net acceleration, they are asking us to find out the net acceleration. So the net acceleration is given by, from law of cosines or law of parallelogram law vector, this can be written as AC square plus AT square plus 2ACAT cos 90, because angle between these two is 90. So this will be 0. So now what is AC? 0.70 whole square. This is 0.50 whole square. This is 0.7 into 0.7. This will be 0.49. 0.5, 0.5. This will be 0.25. So sum of these two, 0.25 plus 0.49 will be 0.74 under root, this will be 0.86 meter per second square. But what is its direction? Because as it is acceleration, this is the magnitude. What is this direction? This is the first vector, this is the second vector, this is the resultant vector, this is a net here. So this is at an angle alpha with this initial tangential acceleration. So how to find this alpha? So tan alpha is given by opposite side, that is AC, by this one AT. AC is equal to, this is 0.7, AT is equal to 0.5, 7 by 5. So alpha is equal tan inverse 7 by 5. So alpha is equal from logarithm books. So let me check this one from logarithm books. This is a 1.4. This value is 1.4. You can write it tan inverse of 1.4. So from logarithm books, if you verify this one, this will be 54.5 degrees. But with what vector? So this is 54.5 from the tangential acceleration, that is negative of the velocity, initial velocity vector. So 54.5 degrees at or from negative of initial velocity.